They have. It's midnight here in the UK, and I am just starting. I would normally start around 10:30 on a Monday night, but yeah, a little bit later today. Hope that's okay with you guys. I'm just checking everything's streaming and behaving. Let me just do this. I've been beset with weird technical issues tonight, including breaking a cable, a mini HDMI. Now, anyone who's used HDMI cables, mini HDMI, they are the weakest, rubbishest cable. I've gone through about 3 or 4 in the last month, I think. Anyway, what have we got on the bench tonight? Let's have a look. Yeah, well, actually, for those of you who watched last week, I was looking at the Disting EX with the new algorithm that came out, the wavetable, the poly wavetable. Tonight, though, we're going to look at the looper that's in the Disting. And caveat, I've not used it before. So this is going to be the first. This is going to be a first. Okay, just checking in before I get started. Hello, Mark in the chat room. Nice, great. That just means we are streaming and we're good. Hope you can hear everything okay. Yeah, a few little technical hiccups, but hopefully we can kind of make some progress. Now, I love looping. I absolutely adore it. I do a lot of it using a few different loopers that I've got. And why do I love it? I think it's just pure creative joy that loopers can bring, you know. And there's some quite smart loopers on the market. I love my 505 from Boss, really great looper. I've made a few videos about it, I think, over the years. But yeah, so I was curious when I started delving into the murky realms of Eurorack to see if there were any kind of loopers. There are a few, and typically the Disting and the Disting EX specifically does have quite a sophisticated looper. I do have the instructions here to my right, so I will check in with that. Hey, nice to see you guys. Hey, wow, all right, okay. Yeah, apologies for the late start. Yeah, anyway, less said about that for the moment. So yeah, let's have a look. I've got a little mini rack in front of me, and what do we have? Pamelas New Workout, 3 drums, a little mixer, the Disting, and a envelope follower external input. Now that is so I can any excuse, and I can get some bass action in. Anyway, we'll get on with that in a bit. Okay, so let's press on. Just checking in with you. Yeah, okay, wicked. We got a chat going on. Okay, right. Yeah. Let's just look at the whole thing a minute then. So Pamelas New Workout, which I've had for a few weeks now, is kind of modulatable clock source. And in this case, we've got 4 outputs which are going into the drum. These Erica synth Pico drums, the one that's called drum 2 is a single voice, and the one that's called drums is 2 voices. So we've got 2 triggers going into the, yeah, let's just pop that one in there. Sorry. 2 triggers going into this one, and then single triggers going into that. Now, one of the things we can also look at tonight is how you can actually program drum patterns in the Pamelas New Workout as well. And also, I want to be able to send a trigger signal from the Pamelas New Workout into the Disting, so I can do quantized loops as well. Now, this is the plan. This is it plan. Oh, Kaz has got his Carl High t-shirt on. That's interesting. Carl does like his stripes. Carl from Singer of Underworld, who I am his bass player. I'm still waiting to go back out on tour again with him. That, you know, he hasn't ruled it out. We haven't actually played live since 2013, so we'll have to see. But yeah, going out and playing Underworld material to some enormous concerts has been a really big thrill of mine. One of my career highlights, I think, would be playing Sydney Opera House back in 2013. That was cool. Fuji Rock as well. A bunch headlining Sonar in Barcelona. You know, all the good stuff. Yes, I have been there. I am not just a kind of farty kind of wibble wobble Eurorack floppy kind of guy. Right, I realise I need another patch cable, so I might just have to go and get one. Thank you, Moog. Right, I'm going to take out another input here. Now that one I'm going to plug into the looper. Let's have a look. Right. Okay. So the Disting EX, the Disting, I'm sure many of you know it now, but you know, it is like a 4 HP module. Been around for a while. It's on the Mark IV. The Disting EX is like a kind of super duper one. It's essentially 2 Distings in one, but it also can function in this what's called a single mode. And when it's in single mode, then these are like the kind of the powered up algorithms. There's 10 of them at the moment within the single. We've got a matrix mixer, Augustus loop, which is nice. It's like Augustus Gloop, I think, from Willy Wonka. But that's like a kind of tape delay. SD multi-sample, so that's coming off the SD card. Multi-sample, it's brilliant, that is. 6 triggers, so you can use that sort of as 6 drums. A WAV recorder, a multi-switch, the looper, the Dream Machine, we looked at that last week, it's like a drone machine. A filter bank, which we haven't looked at, but that was new in the 1.5 update, anyway, certainly the previous one. And then the poly wavetable, which was new as from last week, and fully available. Last week I had it, I think, a day early, but so if you have a Disting EX, that is available now. But anyway, we're going to go back and we're going to go to the looper. Right, okay, so I'm going to press that to go into it. Right, so this looper consists of 4 separate loops, and each of the 4 loops in the default 16-bit mono, each of the 4 loops has a maximum time of about 21 seconds. Now we're going to be doing stereo looping, so I'm guessing we can half that to 10.5 second long loops, which I think will be fine for what we're going to be messing around with. Okay, so I think I better come back here so we can see the Pamelas New Workout. Right, so what I can do with this then is there's 8 assignable outputs. I have just bought the expander for this, which is called the PXP1, I think, and that gives you an extra 4 gate outputs, but they're fixed. They're fixed at like one that's I think one at normal speed, then one that's half speed, one at quarter speed, one at eighth speed, I think. And also it gives a MIDI out and a DIN sync out. I don't actually have any DIN sync things, so I do actually. Electron, I think, or my Electron boxes, or do they just? I'm not sure. Maybe they only send out DIN sync rather than receive. I will investigate. But the reason why I got the expander was because you very quickly do actually run out of these 8, because each one of these outputs on the PAM is incredibly flexible. Now I'm going to press start and I'll see what happens now, and you'll see we'll probably. Okay, so yeah, what we'll do is I'll redo this, but we'll have a little look at what's going on, because this is kind of quite a curious way to approach drum programming. And then once we've got something going, then we can start looping it then. And then when we've got something looped, I can put some bass on it. Oh, yes. Aha. Right. Okay, let's just checking in again with the chat room. Ah, nice. Good to see a nice crowd of you. Thank you so much for joining me. It really does kind of thrill me to my slippers. Right. Okay. So basic operation of the PAM. Say we pick our first output here, which in this case is coming into the first drum 2 module here. A long press on here will take me into the configurator for the PAM, and we can go through various options here, And it's like, wow, there's a lot of stuff for just a simple, well, what appears at first to be a simple clock. Right. So we can see we're sending out here a gate signal. If I like go into there, we can send, like, we can send out a triangle, sign, an envelope, random. What's that? I can't see what that says. Oh, and then yeah, and those can be clocked, I think, from CV1 or CV2, or can yeah, so quite a few little choices, and that's just on the waveform output of one. In this case, though, we'll just stick with a gate. So I'll click out once. Now, level. So again, I think because we're sending out a gate, we'll leave that out full. Offset. We'll come back to offsets. Width. How wide that gate signal is. Phase. We're in the phase of the waveform. Now, delay, which has got two parameters, percentage amount, and then a division. Okay, let me just, I better just reset these. Ooh, I don't know this well enough yet to know if I can, if there's just a global reset. Yeah, I think there is actually, but I'll just dial these out anyway. So I'm going to take, let's just take things back. I'm not sure actually if that should be 0. I will soon find out. If anyone in the chat room is a Pam fan, maybe they can tell me what. And look, there is actually, look, a pitch quantizer in here too. There's a lot of stuff in the Pam. Okay. So what I think I'll do though is I'll just turn down the levels of all of the other ones so we can just hear. Let's start this now. Okay. Now. So like if we were to go here and come into the delay and I crank that up, let's set it to 50% and now come to the division. So it's kind of, we'd need to hear other things to hear it, how it delays it. But it delays the click, the gate rather. Actually, let's just do that. Okay, now number 2. Right, let's find a. It's a bit counterproductive, counterintuitive. I would have normally gone kick, snare, hi-hat, but I'm doing it in reverse here. So we've got a snare. Hang on, let's turn that out. And let's have a look at our settings then. Long press to come out of this one. I'm going to go into channel output 2, come into this, and let's have a look what our settings are. Okay, let's just, if I was to take the delay out like so. Oops. Oh, that's right. This random skip. And then there is actually Euclidean steps on here as well. So that's exactly the kind of behavior we would expect from a single gate pulsing out into it. Now, if I bring in, let's change this one into some sort of kind of kick sound. Right, let's mess with some of these settings then of this second one. So random skip, 20%. 20% of the time, there'll be random skips. I guess if I crank that to 100, then I guess we won't hear anything. Yeah. Let's put that on 80. We'll have an occasional kick, I guess. Ah, okay. Yeah. So, Jimmy Jamath is saying that there is that if I was to jump to the end of these options here and find the reset. Oops, there, reset. Right. Okay. Yeah. Great. So we can reset each output then. Okay. So let's have a look at this. And I'm kind of interested with these Euclidean steps. We'll have Euclidean triggers. Let's just crank up this. Wow. Okay. It's a great sounding drum, this thing is. Okay. Now let's get some sort of snare action coming in and on 3. Right. Let's get onto channel 3 now because we've just got that. I see, like, putting a divider there. That's quite cool, isn't it? So it's quite interesting how Pam can be a drum programmer. Okay. Let's have a look now at what kind of fun things we can do here. Okay, I'll just stop that a moment. Yeah, so I mean, really pretty quickly we've got some sort of beat on the go. Yeah, it's such, I've never ever used anything like this for doing drums, so I find it quite an interesting way of sequencing. Yeah, curious. Okay, so, but looping is the name of the game now. So, oh yeah, I have got a fourth. I haven't got the fourth doing anything at the moment. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, it's like there's a kick coming out of there. So flick that onto drum 2. Yeah, and let's have that being like a big boom, which will just happen occasionally. Long press to jump out of here. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. There we go. Now let's make this. Yeah, it's divided by 4. We just get one of those. There we go. So I guess we get one at the start. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, we haven't got any velocity on the go at the moment, so it's fairly static. But it'll do. It'll do for our purposes. I guess though, I could actually probably use these outputs that I'm not using on the Pams to go into the CV and get it to do some interesting stuff. Oh, I can't resist. Sorry, Mr. Moog. Picking some patch cables off you. Right. Let's have a look. So what we're going to do is I'll come out now out of 6, and I'll put that into I'll put it into CV1. I don't know what it's going to do, but let's let's just mute the, I'm going to take out the other channels for now, just so we can listen. So our hi-hats are going to do something. Okay, so if I navigate to my number 6, and let's have a look. Let's try sending it some of those envelopes or whatever, and see what it can do. Okay, let's come in here. Let's change the rate. Oops. Let's come back out of here. Oh. Okay. Oops. Let's go back into there. I guess I could put the width wide to get the whole. Let's try it into CV2. It's doing something. Okay. Let's go back into here. Oh, I'm getting a bit lost. So I'm not 100% sure if that envelope, I guess if I mess with the phase of it. No. I don't actually know, really. Oh, look at that. Slop. Actually, let's just go back to channel 1 and turn the slop. I'm going to turn the slop on channel 1. Because I think that slop will give us a little bit of drift. Okay. Right, slop. There it is. Okay. That's quite curious. Let's see how that works with everything else. That's quite fun. Let's get some slop. Let's get more slop on the go. Being a kind of sloppy guy. That's on 3. Let's whack the slop up. Slop out. It is kind of fun, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to come out of 7 and into CV2 here. Oh! Neat. Back out of here, let's come up to 7. Not entirely sure what's going on. Okay. Bit odd. Right, now let's see what I mean about running out of outputs on PAM. So I perhaps should have put that little PAM expander. With the PAM expander though, you don't get all the settings, it's just fixed gate outputs. Right, we're going to come out of here though, and we're going to go into one of these well, we're going to go into the looper. Oops, went the wrong way. And now, like all Disting modules, when you turn this here, oops, when you turn this top one on the left, you can see the little number 22, 23, 24. This is kind of the amount of parameters that we've got available in this particular algorithm. You can see, gosh, actually, let's have a quick flick through what we can do, because it is quite interesting. So all of these algorithms start with 6 attenuators, which, you know, correlate to 1 to 6 here, and you know, clearly let us attenuate that or invert the inputs. But now when we get to 7, we get target loop. Now here we can step through our 4 loopers, 5, 6, 7. Now why? Okay, 16. I thought it was just 4 loopers. Hang on, let me have a little look. I'm sure there is just 4. Right, okay. Well, I'm just going to stick. But anyway, but basically, if I was to start. Yeah, so I've with loop 1, without it synced, I guess if I'll try and let me see if I can just loop it manually first. I'm going to start my loop. Here we go. In. Out. Let's see. So Pam has stopped, so we're listening to just the loop. Pretty good. It's kind of fairly seamless looping there. That's not bad. So, right. So to be able to synchronize would be very cool. So let's just stop this now. So if I press stop with this one. Actually, I want to pause. I think if I press it, press it again, pause and play. Oh yeah, that's right. But then if I press and hold here, we'll see clear. And then as it wipes, there we go. I don't think you can clear a track without it being stopped. But I think maybe if other loops were playing, I don't think I think you only need to stop the loop that you want to clear, not stop all the loops. Okay, right. So I'm going to navigate now through this. Let's just have a quick look then. So we got attenuators, the target loop. It may be that there's 16 loops, but only 4 can play perhaps at the same time. Maybe something like that. I'm not sure. That might make sense if it's like 4 voice polyphony kind of thing of loops. So you could have lots more loops in there and then just trigger which ones you want. I'm assuming it might be something like that. Right. Yeah, I mean, GNU Ninja is saying he'd need an electron microscope to read this tiny display. It is small. I mean, it is a small display, but these OLED they are clear. It's small but clear. The PAM is it's a different approach really. Don't know which one I prefer. Which ones do you prefer, guys? This one or this one? Okay, so let's keep loop 1 input. So what are we doing here? There, actually, if I get up the parameters so I can see what's going on. Oh yeah, so I missed. I think I missed. I can choose. Yeah, record gain. Okay, that's neat. So I can turn down the gain of the input level. Okay, loop 1 inputs. Which input to use as the loop input? Oh, I see. Yeah. So I want to be coming in on channel, I guess, on input 1 and input 1. Ah, look at that. I see. Loop 1 input. Assuming then that becomes stereo just by maybe it's mono. Oh, it might be mono, mightn't it? Let's have a look. And then, oh, of course, yeah. So I can choose which inputs and which outputs are mapped. This is pretty deep. I can pan that loop. I can set the playback gain of the loop. Oh, the crossfade length as well. So that's nice. I'm guessing, see, at the moment it's set to 0.1 of a millisecond, but of course that crossfade will stop clicks. And then VCA controls. Oh, and then monitor outputs, whether we're actually monitoring through it, which I guess we are. We want that because we wouldn't be able to hear the way I've got it patched this way. Oh, and look, you can pan the monitoring separately. Yeah, I guess you might want to do that if you wanted to have, if you wanted to use it as a sort of mono looper, but with a monitoring out of one channel and sending out the other channel for processing, perhaps. And the monitor gain. Now look at this: attack time and decay time. That's curious on a looper, but I guess we could have. Let's see what it suggests. Why we would want to do that. Oh, I see. When fading in from pause mute. Oh yeah, and that can offer times between 1 millisecond and 30 seconds. So I suppose, yeah, for more kind of ambient looping, that could be pretty nice. And then overdub attack time and overdub decay time. All right. Overdub fade. Now that's a neat function. That's how much the previous looped content will fade out each pass whilst overdubbing. So that's a lot more like a kind of tape type looping where it's, each loop is decaying and yeah, you could do nice Frippatronics kind of stuff. And let's keep flicking through here. Overdub fade. Oh yeah, so pause mute chooses what happens when the pause mute command is given. Pause, the loop stops. The mute, but the loop continues but is silent, or re-trigger, which rather than pause, it'll start it again from the top. I think I'm going to leave that on. I think I will leave that just on the default there. Trigger outputs, set which output to use for start of loop trigger pulse. Okay. That's kind of cool then, isn't it? Because every time a loop completes, it'll send out like a pulse. Ooh. I can hear the cogs in my brain kind of turning. This is pretty cool. That's what I like about this disting. These algorithms, they're deep. Okay. And then we got our clock input. That's what we want. Clock input. So yes, let's turn clock input on, and then we can choose which of the 6 inputs we want to take a clock from. So I'll set that to 6. Okay, and then I'll take my output here from the PAM, whack that in, and I guess let's see what the setting of this output is. I think it's probably just going to be, yeah, just a standard clock. I suppose if I wanted to increase the clock, I would get more. Yeah, I guess that's going to affect when it allows me to press the start. So I think I'll just leave that on the one there. Okay, now let's see. Let's just put that into practice with our odd loop. Okay, let's see now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and in. I'll go 4 by 3, 4. Ha. I think I must have been a bit late, but it's still synced. Let's do that again. I'll just try one bar this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Maybe I'll take a. Let's try that again. I'm going to divide this now. Make the. Oh, this is cool. I just realised what I can do now. This is good. Let's just wipe that. I'm going to try setting this to be in like a bar then. So, right, so if I start it and then press that, oh no. Oh, dear me. I thought I had it, but I didn't. Let me try that again. Sorry about this. Divide. I did it the wrong way. That's what I was doing. Right, let's just start that again. So I'm thinking when I press this and then press this with it divided by 4, it won't let me start recording. In fact, let's just make life easier and let's put that to 8. So I'm going to start this, and then you can see that I think you can just about make out that's a square at the moment, and it'll go to like a kind of circle when it's in record, and then a triangle when it's in play. So if all things go to plan, I can press this to record, but it won't start recording until we've done, well, I guess, what would that be? 8 full beats, I suppose. Let's try it. So that. No! Oh, I'm being a fool. I'm being a fool. I'm being a fool. I'm being a fool. I see it now. I have inadvertently turned off clock input. Duh. There we go. That's why. That's why. Clock input. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I want that to be on 6. Yes. That's what I did wrong. That's what I did wrong. Oh, wrong way. Let's navigate off that page. So what does record do though? That's the next thing. Controls the record overdub clear function. This is default map to the left button. Oh, I see. Okay. We'll leave that as it is, but at least I won't be a numpty. I'm just checking in with the chat room. These deep diving modules need external editors, possibly via USB. There may be something for the Disting, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, definitely would take a bit of doing. Now, let me see if this all works to plan, like I would expect it to do. I press. Yes! Here we go. I guess. Now, it's probably, I don't know, you might just about be able to see it. It's sort of, you know, I'm going to try and see if I can just do something here. Oh. Why won't it stop? Is it? Why would it stop? Stop, Looper, stop. Do I have to be back? No. Oh. Oh, see, it's not stopping for me. Oh, I don't know why that is. Oh, I'm changing settings. No. I don't know why that's not stopping now. My target loop. Have I changed some setting that prevents it from stopping? Looper play. Ooh, reverse. Yeah. Oh. It was all going so well. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just gonna turn that down for a minute because right, I don't know why that's not doing that because I'm pressing. I thought that these were kind of, that's what they did when you press them, that should stop it. Okay, hold the button for 2 seconds. I'll try that. No, have I? Hang on. So these were set. These were set to 0. So I think. Mac is saying, I've got a cool thing for my disting. It's a little SD card extender, so the whole card sticks up higher. It's a bit sticky outy, but it does help with the SD card access. That's not a bad idea, because trying to get that SD card out is a fiddly little thing. And depending what module is next to it, if the module has got like a pot right by there, that's what I found before. It's almost impossible to get it out. That's a cool little tip. Thanks, Mac. Right. So for some reason, I've lost the ability to stop this looper. Now, I don't think it's a setting that I've changed, although I wouldn't be sure with my... Okay, so that has confused me now. Pause, mute. Did I change anything there? No, that should be on 0. Yeah, so that's our default behavior. Pause, loop stops. Not stopping. Oh yeah, that's quite a cool little thing. I forget about that as well. If you press and hold this one, it kind of shows you that like Z is mapped to the clock input there, and I guess it's, well, I'm not quite sure what's saying loop there, but okay. Nope. I don't know if this is a bug or if I've done something wrong, but this is kind of typical for me, just farting around and then getting stuck. Yeah, okay. Grr. So I don't know what's the easiest way around this. I guess if I just was to navigate out, pick a different algorithm, machine, and then come back. Hey, it stopped. That's not a good way of doing it, though. Yeah, Magoo's saying turn it on and turn it off again. I guess that was that would have done it as well, I guess. Although I'm pretty sure when you turn this off, I can actually test this. Let's just take that level down. I'm pretty sure when you turn it off and then turn it back on again, I think that the disting goes back to its default patch. But you can choose, say, matrix mixer. But that is, I think we discovered that last week. If I was to go into my settings, I think I can go, is it I can choose startup preset. Yeah. So I guess I could go, oh, I've not made presets here, but if I made a preset, if I set up that looper, there we go. I could set up that looper, create a preset, and then set that preset to be the startup. Yeah, so that's kind of pretty cool. All right, let's do this then. So we're going to go algorithm, choose single, whiz up here to number 7, looper. Let's go back in. Right, now I'm guessing that, let's have a little, I wonder if my settings though are the same or if they've, what had I done? What had I done to change things? I don't know. If, I'm not sure if it's, if these, I'm assuming it's a complete reset of the, yeah, I think it is. I think it's a complete reset of all the parameters. Okay. Oh, look then. So this is where we were getting through these options here. Reverse, which is always nice. And then bit depth. So we can do some bit reduction. Oh no, we can't. Sorry. Sets loop bit depth. Options are 8-bit, 16-bit, or 32-bit. So yeah, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. Oh, here we go. This is where we can make our loop stereo. And then we got a low pass filter. Yeah, I think this is just a non-resonant low pass filter. Octave down. That's always cool with a looper. And then what's this one here? Lock rate. That's not in this. That's not in the. That's not in the manual. So I don't know what that is. Lock range. Oh, it's in milliseconds. Not sure. I'll leave that off for now. I've forgotten what it was. Was it on 0 or 0? Don't know. 0 or 1. And then we're back around. Okay. Right. Let's get back. Now, I'm pretty sure, though, that the PAM, if I press start. Oh, let's bring that up. Oh, yeah. Here. Oh. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think PAM is still... PAM's remembered its settings, but this one hasn't. Okay, so these have reset themselves, but the Pamela's workout has remembered it, whatever the last settings were before you power down. So I think that's pretty cool. In many ways, the way I'm anticipating this Pamela's New Workout in my rig, and especially with the expander, as being the hub of everything. So it remembering its settings is a kind of pretty crucial thing. Okay, so where do we get to? So I'm not sure what I did with that looper then. I just don't know what I did. So anyway, I'm going to come back up and find that setting, which was our clock input. Clock input is currently set to none. And I'm going to take that up to 6 again. So let's pop that back in. Okay, and let's just have a go again. Yeah, that's working. Now, you see, so this must be, if I'm using the clock input, then I guess if I have to turn that, is that what it is? I have to turn that off then. Oh, there we go. So if you've got the clock, right. So if it needs clock, it won't even stop. That's a bit odd, isn't it? That's a bit odd behavior, but I guess you'd get used to it. Oops. So if I had my clock set to 6, then yeah, okay, that's what it was then. By having the clock input, then it sort of has locked out the switches. So that's that seems a bit strange to me, because I'd like to be able to stop that whilst the clock is still. Now, am I being stupid? Which I often am. Or missing something there, but okay. Let's just have a look at that octave down function now. Nice. Let's. Oh. Filter. filter thing. Okay, and then let's reverse it for fun. Now, any good looper worth its salt will let me overdub onto this. Let's try it. Oh, I didn't record the whole thing. Yeah, great. So I can record fresh stuff. Yeah. So that's cool. I can record I dropped the octave down, reversed it, but then it let me overdub fresh stuff onto it whilst preserving those kind of settings. And I guess if I then change the reverse around, yeah, switching it back now. That's quite cool. Let's try changing that octave now. Oh, okay. So I think okay. Now bear in mind, I'm overdubbing this. That's all like overdubbing like a looper onto the first loop. If I whiz our way down here to target loop and move over, I tell you what I'm going to do, just for fun. It's not the greatest loop, but I'm just going to see if this is working. Okay, let's set this. Definitely want this to synchronize now, so I'm going to flick over to that clock input, set it back to 6. Let's try it. I can see, oh, maybe you can see it a little bit better now. You can see the progress of where you are in the loop as the loop goes round with that little line. Yeah. Okay, let's try it. So if I press this, yeah, hopefully now. No. I thought that would start recording. Okay. So this clock input is, I think I'm gonna have to do this manually then. Is this loop gonna sync? Is it going to be synced automatically, I wonder? Oh, sorry, it's a really annoying loop. What have I done? Right, hang on. Let's see if this works now. No. Disaster. Let's just clear that. I need it to sync. Okay, so you do have to speed through things here. I think I'm going to need to do some MIDI mapping. I would need to map this to things. Right, stop. It is super mappable, though. It is super mappable, and I think you would need to do something like that to use this in a kind of proper loopy way. I've got a MIDI foot pedal over here, and there is a breakout which I haven't got plugged in at the moment, a MIDI breakout for the disting. So I'm I'm imagining if I put that in and got the pedal into there, I could go to the mappings. Now let's just do that. Let's just to have a look here and come over to mappings. Let's go into mappings. And then CV mappings, knob mappings, button mappings, MIDI mappings. Yes. In. And then I'm guessing, let's just spin through these. Okay, look at this. Now, this is where expert sleepers hit a home run. I can get to every single parameter and map it. Oh yeah. Okay, so everything is mappable. Oh, everything. Ooh, I'm gonna have to come back to this, I think, on another session where I have actually mapped it. I thought, again, you know, I typically bumble my way through things on this little show, but I'm not a bad looper, really. But I just would need to get this configured. Okay, so this is interesting me now, the fact that I can map every single feature. So one of those things which would be a really cool thing is target loop. So on an up and down, I could choose which of my loops I want to record into. Okay. Right. So that is cool. I mean, I'm not gonna bore us and do that now. I mean, this is more of just a bit of an exploratory kind of look at things. But the fact that that's mappable, and I'm gonna make a wild assumption now, and when you save this as a preset, that it will save all of those mappings. I'm pretty sure it would. That would be really frustrating if it didn't. See what I'm thinking? So you could set the Disting EX up, create that preset of the looper with all those MIDI mappings, save that as a preset, and set that as your your starting, your default preset when it turns on. So you could have the Disting then as a looper, as its default, that it is a default looper, and with all the other functionality should you wish. Okay. That's kind of cool. That is cool. That's definitely something worth investigating. Yeah. Ace. Thanks again, everybody in the chat room. I mean, there's so much chat going on. Typically moves too fast for me. Right. So what I want to do, I want to be able to do that thing with the clock. I'm gonna figure this out so I can set it, wait for it to get round to the right place, and then be able to play in. I don't think I can choose how long it's going to loop for, or can I? I didn't see that as a setting. Oh, I'm just thinking, could I set another output? I'd have to borrow one of those other outputs from Pam's. I might be able to send another one, set the clock of it out, and then that coming into another input, and then it will go in. It'll trigger the playback. So I could set how long it would loop for by setting how long you want it to be before it lets you record, and then how long that would be before it receives a gate to make it stop again. Just interestingly, going back to the PAMs, oops, wrong setting. Let's have a look. If I was just to go to, let's just go to number 7 for the moment, and go into here, and then so I can to my divisions, divide by 2, divide by 3, 4, 7. Holy moly! Would you look at that? I can divide it by 512. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. So you could potentially do this. So, and then use the delay. If I set it, oh yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Right. So I could set the PAM to send it out of another output, out of this, out of say, let's just nick that one then and plug that into number 5. Oops. Is this going to work? I doubt it, but we'll see. Okay. So that record, the clock input, there was that. Where was it? Oh, I think I went too far. Clock input. So the clock input is what we're clocking from. But, oh, I'm thinking maybe rather than using the clock input, well, leave the clock in and just set the clock just so it's got clock that is that the tempo is coming from the PAM. So let's just do that. I think this may be the better way to do it. I'm just going to just put that just to default it to 1. So here the PAM, the PEXP output, I should have got it. Maybe I will go and grab it in a moment, the little expander out. Because if you are just using just very simple timed gates, then that's what the output, that's what the expander would be good for. So in this case, I'm just going to send the clock. I'm just going to be sending it a clock. Now, from 7 though, I'm going to set this to be I think if I set this to the record, which number is that? Number 56. Record. Oh. Why did that just wipe? Oh, I see. Because I've gone into record. Right. Yes. So, brain, come on. So, okay, yes. So that is triggering the record. Okay, let's just clear that. Oh, can't clear it. There we go. I see. Okay, so 5 is getting a clock. Well, we'll get a clock. Oh, not a clock. I mean, we'll get a trigger at a certain time from the PAM. And that'll come in, and it will tell it to start recording. Yeah, I think this is possible. And then I can set the divider then. Let's just make sure. Let's go back on 7. It is a bit of an enigma, this is. One thing I have to say, if anyone is thinking that these expert sleepers distings are a little bit confusing, they are confusing. They attempt to do so much stuff. In their defense, I will say that Oz from Expert Sleepers records a video tutorial for every single algorithm and in some depth as well, which is cool. So when you go to the manual, there's always a link to the video for that particular part of the Disting that you're looking for both the Disting Mark IV and the Disting EX. Right. So where did I get my... All right, I know what I need to do then. So I need to come out of here and come into mappings. Okay. CV mappings. Choose here. Oh gosh, I'm going to come unstuck here now. I can feel it. Come up to, what was it? 56 was record. Yes. Now, move this over. Input. And I put that on 5. Oh, I think I might be getting somewhere with this. Okay. unipolar gate. I'll just try it that way. Let me just have a look what is, so I could be gate. Yeah, gate. Say normal or gate. I think it is a gate I want. It's not bipolar. It's just going to be an on or off. Let's try that. That looks, I think, okay. Let's get back to my looper. Now, when I press start here, I'm just curious now to see. Yeah, it's recording. Yeah, look at that. So you can see the rate. See, okay, that's layering up loads. I feel like I'm making a breakthrough. That's cool. So let's increase this divider now. Let's divide that by 4. Now, of course, when I press start, it's going to send that gate. That's why the delay options and the various things and the offset options. Oh, question from the chat room. Kaz Williams, do you think you might get your noodle box out again? Yeah, well, I've got the noodle box set up in a really cool way with my main modular rig. This is just at the moment, this is just my little breakout that I'm using. The noodle box is in a very special place, which is, I'm finding it to be really cool. The noodle box, of course, is the sequencer. I've kind of had another bumble through that in an earlier adventure. There's a lot to learn with that thing. There's a lot to learn with a lot of this, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I think the noodle box is fabulous, and the more you use it, the more you kind of, it becomes a little bit more second nature. There's an awful lot of shortcuts to memorize with it. So I've got the little cheat sheet always on hand with that. Okay, now, because I want time to get ready to play along, I'll just record the drums and bass at the same time. So if I go into this gate 7 and I'm going to offset it, let's try doing like a 50% offset. So I'm thinking that when I start it, let me just see. No, that's wrong. So it maybe delay then. Yeah, maybe delay is the delay. Okay. Oops. Let's just clear that. Oh, clear. Start. Yeah, I saw it start then. It started a little bit later, so let's just figure out this delay settings. Okay, divide. Let's divide that a little bit more. Let's clear that again. Okay, let's make a bigger division. Right, let's try about there. My maths is appalling, so start. And 1, 2, 3, and in. No. I think I've divided it. Okay. Oh. Let's maybe. No. Right. I'll put it on 8. I'm definitely doing something wrong here. Let me just try that back on 2. Okay. What am I doing? Right. Let's see. That's on 0, so let me just crank this back up. I'll try that 8 again. What am I doing? This is not right. Stop! Oh no, look at this now. Stop. Okay. It's dead confusing. Yo! Okay. Modular version of 2468 motorway. 2468 motorway. Okay. Let's see. I think the delay that I've set here, let's go back here. There's a little. Is that a little divide? That is small. Oops. Is that, what's that? Oh, okay. So yeah, so it is 100. Yeah, so 50. Yeah, so 50 means that it'll start halfway through the clock cycle. Yeah, that makes sense. Then the delay, the division. So if it was on 4, I'm guessing. Oh, loving the stream. That's good. That's good. Ooh. Ooh, overloading there. Let's just get that in a bit tighter. Oh, look at this though, because this has got a gate output. I could use. Maybe. Oh, let's see what I'm thinking. Let's try taking that out from there and putting that into the gate out. So the threshold, let's just get that threshold. Yes! Okay. No. I need to figure out. All right. This is going to be good. So the gate is starting the loop. Ooh. This has got potential once I've figured it out. Okay. All right. What interface am I using for the bass input? I am just simply using the dope for A119. Just goes straight in, and it gives plenty of gain actually, which is great. Just clear that. Now, I want I've got my gate that's set in the record to start, but I don't want it to okay. Is dropping the loop at the low state of is dropping the loop at the low state of the trigger. Yes. Right. So it's going gate on. Whilst the gate is on, it's recording. As soon as it loses gate, it drops out of record. Yes, thank you. That is absolutely right. So I guess if I play like a busybody without any gaps at all, I can keep the loop going. Let's just try it. Not quite. Yeah. Stop. Right. Okay, so this is probably now if I was to go back into the mapping, because there was all that kind of sensitivity. Let's have a little look at that then. Actually, that may be the answer. So come back into mappings. Let's go in CV mappings. Yes. So yes. So record input 5 gate. And what was that other option? It said normal as well, didn't it? So oops, navigate over here, and then it's one. Oh, I suppose if I was to crank that up. Whoops. I went the wrong way. Or use the envelope to trigger. That's not a bad idea, actually. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, that's probably easier to. Oh, no, I can't remember what this was set to 1, wasn't it? Yeah. Whoop, let's just whiz that over to 1. Oh, what was that now? Unit. Oh, what's that? Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's back to where we were. Let's just... So the envelope then, if I take that out and go envelope out. Oh yeah, but yet you can't change the sensitivity of the envelope. Oh, I know there's some deep joy to be had here once I just get my brain around how to do this. I think if I had an envelope sensitivity control, then, because you can see that it even, in fact, look at that, you see, even the merest detection of the envelope, like there's that LED light shows the intensity, so even just, actually, no, I haven't triggered it yet. There, I triggered it then. Still recording. Ah. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure how I could control that, but I've never seen this in a looper before. Being able to start and stop it from maybe how much velocity that you play. So I think maybe the gate. Okay. Attenuate the envelope out. Yes, I could. Yeah, if I, of course. That's a good idea. I haven't got an attenuator to hand. Well, but that's not a bad idea. Or I can attenuate. Yes, I can, can't I? I've got attenuators on the front end of this here. So this is coming in on number 5. Attenuator there. So if I made the envelope, yeah, so I can go, so let me think now. If let's just crank this really high, 200%. Now let's see. So, oh, I think I went the wrong way, didn't I? Make it weak. I keep forgetting. Like, I was spinning through this with something I was forgetting last week as well. You know, go, oh god, let's get there. But these are like just pots, potentiometers at the bottom here, which just let you whiz through everything. Okay, let's give it a bit more strength. More strength, maybe. Ah! Okay, so this is promising. So I guess just dialing in this and getting this to a predictable sense. Yep. So yeah, start. For the whole, I think it ran the whole available loop time then. Okay, so let's see. Let's right, let's just see now if I can, oh, wrong button, pause, clear. So I'm just trying to work out how to make it recognize the end part of the loop. So now started. Okay. I love the hive mind of the chat room. Okay, so what do I want to do? Okay, so this is kind of cool. So at least I'm starting to use those attenuators there. Now, it's still once that gate signal gets over a certain the envelope. Once it gets over a certain threshold, it starts the loop, but there's nothing telling it how to stop the loop. So that's what I need. That's what I need to figure out now is how to somehow, I guess, give another loud or even louder one to send it to the play. That might work. Oh, so it'd be like that or something, you know, like a pop. That's a super loud pop. That could so if I set the attenuator yeah, so I'd have to use another setup. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to come back to the mapping. This, of course, may go completely wrong. That's what usually happens, or we get somewhere. But I'm going to go into mappings, CV mappings, and I'm going to go to yeah. So if I go to play now and choose it, oh, I've sat it off. Input 5. That's the same. Oops. Input 5. Right, let's just get back to the... Oh, stop our little loop playing there. Oh, stop playing. Oh dear. I've just whizzed all the way back over here now to the record. Okay. Record. Play. Oh, it's weird. No. Stop playing. It must be getting too much. Let's pull it out for a moment. Stop. Stop. So I can drop into record, but I can't stop. Oh, because clock out. Let's pull that clock signal. Yeah. Clock. Oh no, the clock input's off. Wah! No. Okay, so that didn't work, so I've got to whiz back. I did something wrong, so I get back to mappings. Yeah, the loop won't finish until we go mappings in, CV mappings, play. And then I'm going to whiz that to off for now. Let's just stop. Right. Get this back onto the play parameter. Phew. Okay. God, it really is like it is like a puzzle, isn't it? This is definitely some sort of puzzle. Right. Okay. Oh, I hadn't I have got that input. I've only got the choice to attenuate that input. I'm going to go back out I'm going to try out the gate again, purely because I've got this physical threshold control, and you can see actually when I move the threshold. Let's go a pop. Right, so we can. Right, if I turn. Right, look, with the threshold up here. Yeah. Oops, that's even higher. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that's kind of good in that I can see that it'll. Oh, sorry. Let's get the bass neck out of the way. yeah, so getting that predictability, so pow, and it starts. So really, I want to find a way of going gate start, gate, sort of gate to start it, and a gate to stop it. That seems like a perfectly reasonable request, I think. Right. So I need to have a little figure out how to do this. See, I think that might be quite cool. Quite a cool way of looping. Although it might mean that there's a at the end of your loop. Oh, yeah. Yes. That would limit the loop, wouldn't it? Always having to have a really loud twonk to start and stop it. Right, I quite fancy trying this thing again though. So where the loop, where now I've got this attenuator on. I may just set that back as to, let's get it attenuator 5. I'm just going to whack that back to 100%, just to its normal default setting, just to work off there again. Okay. Right, loop. Right. So now, if I'm watching the record, I know Oz from Expert Sleepers does kind of check these videos out a little bit, so I'm sure he would be slapping his forehead and going, no, as I'm missing something obvious here. But right, record. So yeah, we're back there. We're back there. Where okay, so we sort of so only loud bits will record. Okay, that's kind of cool. Almost predictable. Right. Let me try that again. So I suppose I don't need to go into that attenuator settings here because I've got that control there, which essentially doing the same thing. Yeah. Okay. I think because once that first loop is set, the start and end point, then it sort of becomes quite fun. Let's try that again. Okay. Let's go. Oh, look at that. I'm doing a clear. Oh, because it's still in there. I need to clear it first. I see. That would be the clear command as well. Right. Same thing. Right. Okay. Let's try that again. No. Oh, gosh. This is dead bonkers. Oh, I think I need to. Have I cleared it? Was it? No. Oh gosh, this is so odd. Clear. Damn you. Oh, I want it clear now. Does I have to clear it manually by doing this? No. Oh, I don't. Oh, every time I think I make a little bit of progress, it does things and it makes me feel stupid again. Clear. Okay, good. Oh, I see. it's like when it's a value of 1, then that's okay. Yeah, a value of 1 is the record, is that control, isn't it? So pow, back to there. Yes. Right then. So let's see if I can do this predictably then. So I'm driving a bit. It's kind of cool. I've never done this with a looper before, where just the loudest bits loop. Let's just turn that input gain. It's a little bit hot there and there. It's quite nice when it just catches bits of what you're doing. Oh, it gets chaos too quick though, doesn't it? Clear. Wow. Just trying to think about how this could be more predictable. I'm just going to work out where that. Oh, look at that. No. Yeah. So you do have to keep it up. Oh, right. So, I'm just having a little look in the manual here for any help. Target loop, record gain. No, it's almost like I want to find something that is like a setting that as soon as you trigger it, as soon as it gets a trigger, it will record for a length of time. That would be the most predictable way. Oh, from the manual. Thank you, Jess. It's saying sometimes it's useful to set the loop length without actually recording anything into it. To do this, press R instead of L to start recording. Oh. Okay. Why didn't I see that? Okay. All right. So I'm not quite sure how. So what is that then? So that's R. So I could map. Right. So let's figure out how I can kind of utilize that. Recording a blank loop. Okay. So sometimes useful to set the loop length without actually recording anything to it. Press R instead of L to begin recording. The display will show the record icon circle with an M for mute. Okay. Okay. It's just still trying to figure out the how that could be predictable. I suppose I could just. Oh, hang on. So the PAM could set that, couldn't I? I suppose I could use the Pamela's workout going into R, triggering R for a set amount of time that's in the. Hang on, let me figure this out. Yeah, so if Pamela set out a signal in that sets to R instead of the loop instead of L, well, right instead of left, I guess, L and R, then we could create a blank loop to a particular length dictated by the clock divider of PAMs. Once I've got my loop, then I could just overdub various bits and bobs into a quantized loop. That sounds feasible. Yeah. Okay. So what do I do then? I got to come back here. I hope this is vaguely amusing. Again, I typically flounder a lot, but oh my goodness, for people who are watching this not live, this is kind of why watching it live is kind of good, because the chat room is so dynamic and helpful. Okay, so I'm going to go into mappings, CV mappings, and now let's navigate this little setting back to the record. And rather than it, right, so let me just move that over and just stop and just make that on 0. Now I want to move this to being the, I guess then that would, I guess it would be the play. Oh, maybe this is why I got confused before. So if I set that to be play, let's try that. So if that's set to play, when I start the PAM, it should go into that record, but with that muted icon. Let's just try that. Set the PAM. Oh, I'm not sure what my divider is. Oh, I think maybe I need to clear that first. Let's just clear it. Okay, let's try again. Okay. If I press it here. Oh, right. Okay, so that isn't, that's a different parameter then. That's not treating that as play. That's treating our... Right, okay, let's have a look. I'm going to go back into that mapping. CV mapping, and let's have a look what options we've got here. So play. I'm not sure if I can trigger that remotely. Mind you, why don't I just set it to record a loop and just not play anything? Yeah, that would make sense. So let me just put that back. I'm going to try and... Okay. Yes. So record. Yes. Input number 5. Okay. And... Okay, let's get back into here. Clear. Let's just have a look. So if I press that... I'm going to take the delay off this for now, just to try and get this to be absolutely predictable. Right. Okay. Coming out of 8. Am I in the right? Oh, I was in the wrong one. Get on to 8. Right. So this is... Oh no, we're using 8 as our clock. Duh, I'm being a wally. I need this. Oh, I took the cable away. Let's get it. Let's get another one. Will it reach? Yep. I'll go into 3 with this then. So 6 is still going to... Actually, I don't know. We're not using our clock, are we? I kind of still want to still keep it synced to the PAM, though. Oh, I feel like I'm just about to make a breakthrough on this. So let's get back this to PAM's number 7. The divide is on, let's take the divide off at all. Let's just have it so it's just a regular clock for now. When I press start, oops, what am I, oh no, I've put this into 3 now, haven't I? So back around here. At least you're all going to kind of know your way around this now. Right, so record wants to be not input 5, it wants to be input 3. Okay. And then I've set... This wants to be... How do I get this now to being... that to be, oh yeah, oops. I want this to be 1 volts. Bear with me, everyone. Oh, right, okay. That. Let's see how that gets. Let's see where that gets us. Yes. Great. Okay. That's sort of the behavior I want. Yes. Right. Oh, I think I know what I can do using Pam to do this. Let's go into, so if I made a divide, if I divide it down, let's divide it by 4. And then let's go into that. And then if I was to set the width to be like, that's like completely on, then will this kind of loop? Oops, let's clear this. Let's try that again. So I think. Yeah. Yeah, I've got this. Right, so I'm going to divide this more then, because did I still have a delay on it though? Oh, oh, it did have random skip. Let's just take everything off this. Ah, make that a gate. Come back out of this and divide it by 8. Clear that. Start. Oh no, of course, that's just getting solid gate, so oh, I think I know what I could do. So if let's go back into here, and I'm going to, let's put that width back to 50. So it'll be on and then it'll be off. Let's clear that. Try that again. So boom, it's on. And then it should send it. Yes. On. So it's still going to send the record as well, isn't it? Every off. Yes. So record. And then off. Oh. Oh, right, okay, let's just stop this. Right. Paul Torbert talking about Phil and Paul Hartnell. Well, we had Paul Hartnell on my show. I had an interview with him a few months back. That was a bit of a thrill. Nice guy, really nice, very generous with his he was super cool. Okay, right. Okay, I'm feeling like this is, I'm starting to kind of understand. My kind of muggy head is starting to get my head around this. So the chat in the chat room is now talking about artists that I really like, actually, talking about the orb. And they're talking about UF orb. The blue room. Ah, okay. Chat room has now completely distracted me and made me think about the orb. I remember vividly. I was down in a place called Llangennith at the end of the Gower in South Wales. Beautiful. There's a Llangennith is like the kind of toe of the sock of the Gower right at the end, and there's some beautiful sand dunes there, and you're not meant to, but we would go and kind of camp out in the dunes, and it was this beautiful evening, and there was we had, I mean, gosh, what year was this? Probably about 91. No, it was later, 92 maybe. But we had a little radio with us, and Radio 1 had an exclusive play of the new Orb single, The Blue Room, and it was 40 minutes long. I think it may have been that single that may have caused the charts to reassess what the maximum single length can be. I seem to remember something like that happening because it was a 40-minute song. When UF Orb came out, and the Blue Room on there was a much shorter one, so the original single was kind of longer than the album version. But that Blue Room, we were listening to it on these in these dunes. It's one of those amazing moments in my life, that is, actually. So very, very fond. Very, very fond of that. Very influential. A great bass line on there on the Blue Room. But yeah, the Orb. I've got one more Orb story before we move on, and that is Glastonbury 1993 on the... So maybe it was 93, actually, thinking about it. Or it might have been 93, 92, 93. But certainly Glastonbury 93. Yeah, it was. On what was then called the Enemy stage. It's called the Other stage now, which is the second stage in Glastonbury. There was... it was brilliant. It was a brilliant lineup. I remember Stereo MCs were really kicking at that point in time. Their Connected album had been a big smash hit, and the lyrics of Connected just seemed to chime. We all felt we were on some sort of spiritual awakening. A lot of us in the rave scene, that 93, that year, was really special. We kind of felt some amazing sense of connectivity, and that's what the Stereo MCs were singing about. Get yourself connected, the writing's on the wall. And it was that night. It was who was it now? It was I know Stereo MCs, but the Orb were headlining, and that set that the Orb did, I wonder if it's online at all. But it was an amazing set. But one thing that was kind of infuriating for a lot of people was they didn't drop the beat. They didn't bring the beat. Everyone was kind of waiting for them to drop the 4 on the floor and it just kind of kick off. And it just didn't for the whole gig. They kind of just teased, and it didn't become the... it was just like this kind of really... I think the audience felt a bit freaked out by it. It was really weird. They had this great display, like a big circular orb thing on this, and they could do projections in there at the time. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. It felt like rave music. It was just like the dominant music back then, certainly in the festivals. And the 4 on the floor was just like omnipresent. And in fact, Glastonbury back in those days as well, a lot of people were smuggling in big sound systems into the camping areas, and you got no respite. It was like there would be raves going on in the campsite, like with quite loud sound systems 24/7. You just couldn't escape it. You know, you'd go back to your tent and it would be pounding loud. That's just how it was back then. And my goodness as well, I mean, Glastonbury, it just got crazier and crazier through the 90s until there was an enormous change, security clampdown, because you used to be able to go and jump the fence. It was everybody I knew like would go for free, essentially. There was an area near the green fields, like where the crusties would always pull a bit of the fence down. So if you knew where to go, there was always going to be this bit where you could kind of get in. But but we used to jump the fence, we used to, oh man, it was quite a nervy thing to do. But it was doable. What happened with Glastonbury though, I mean, it got crazy by the year 2000. That was the last year of the crazy years. I mean, it was untenable. It couldn't carry on like that, because what was happening was everyone was going to Glastonbury. Every gang from every council estate in Britain was going to Glastonbury back then. There was because everybody could get in. The amount of people there was crazy. I don't think the official, what was the official figures? I can't remember the capacity. I think the tickets it was about like 80,000 tickets. They've increased the ticket capacity hugely now. But I mean, the amount of people who were getting in for free I would say was outnumbering the people who were buying tickets. And it was dangerous. There was crime waves that were unbelievable. I mean, I remember a friend of mine, he'd crashed out in his tent, but his feet were sticking out the tent with his boots on, and someone robbed his boots off his feet. There would be these gangs who would just be going in a line through the camps, just going through everyone's tents. My goodness, there were murders, there were muggings. It was dangerous, but it was vibey. It was vibey at night, especially. Holy cow! You'd just be walking around, and there'd be all these like really shady people, and there'd be these rastas going black ash, and then a guy stood on a little step ladder with a megaphone going, "Get your LSD here!" It was crazy. I mean, it was out of control. It was, but anyway, people were coming from everywhere, and they were just trampling through people's gardens, and it was going to stop. It couldn't carry on. So, well, it couldn't carry on like that. And I think Michael Eavis and the organisers of Glastonbury, I think, handed over the control of the security to Vince Power of the Mean Fiddler fame, who then upped the security hugely. And the fence that you used to be able to get over was, I mean, it was just like a fence. You'd have to boost, like a couple of you would boost someone up, boost another up, and then those two would drag two people would be sat on the fence. You'd throw all your kind of rucksacks up to them, and they would throw them down on the other side, and then they would help you up. But there were these kind of kids who'd come over from Liverpool who were like out to make money, and they would be walking around with a ladder. And you go, 15 quid, mate, to use the ladder. I had to get over the fence. I go, no, it's all right, we'll get over it. But anyway, we were trying to get the last person over, and bless him, he wasn't very strong. We were trying to lift him up, and he was, and this little kid who had the ladder walked past, and we go, oh mate, just give him a boost. He goes, 5 quid a boost. It's 5 quid a boost. Oh yeah, enterprising, I guess. But then there wasn't a Glastonbury. The festival didn't happen in the year 2001, but when it came back in 2002, it had changed enormously, because the fences weren't just like that anymore. The fences had a nasty overhang like that, and that's all they had to do was go around all the fences and just put another bit like that, and it completely scuppered you getting over there. And I think they increased the security patrols that were going round. And it changed everything. And I mean, I think they increased the ticket allocation by a huge amount. So I think they were able to, or maybe this was over. I can't remember when that happened, but I remember I didn't go 2002. I went 2003, and I just remember walking around and at night, and it was calm. And it felt safe, and and you thought, oh, you can maybe like leave your tent without fear of everything, of the tent, being able to return back and find your tent still there. It was unbelievably different, but I really kind of sort of missed. I kind of missed that. I missed that element, the rogue element in a way. I think the energy and this kind of this edgy vibe that was there. It became a bit safe. It became maybe a little bit more middle class. You know, and I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, that really. You know, kind of go. Oh, I remember those days. Oh, the muggings and the theft. Oh, it was great. No, it's not so much that, but I think it became a bit exclusive again. You know, it was almost as though it was all the exclusivity had gone out of it, and it was like kind of open for everybody. You know, because once that security had ramped up, it became like nigh on impossible to get in sort of without a ticket. It was doable. There is gosh. This is public forum. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. Some of you might know it, but it's the wristband trick. If if you're wearing a wristband, so to get in and out of a festival, those wristbands, they would typically make them tight so you couldn't slip it off your wrist. But if you put your fist into a carrier bag and pull the carrier bag around the wristband, so the wristband, you've pulled it underneath, you then can just pull the wristband because it just slips over the plastic of the plastic bag, and you'd use exactly the same way to because the wristband, you can't change the little toggle on there, but you'd put the carrier bag on your fist and then you could bring the wristband in and then pull the carrier band off, and it totally defeats those wristbands. It means you can take them on and off and share them or whatever. Yeah. Oops. Oh no, what have I done? I've let the cat out of the bag. They're going to change that now and people will blame me. But yeah, God, my goodness, those are the days. Yeah, 92 was my first Glastonbury, and it honestly changed my life. It really did change my life. And I think a lot of people had similar life-changing experiences. Because back then, festivals typically, well, there wasn't many for a start in Britain. You had things like the Cambridge Folk Festival and, some other sort of specialist croppery, the Brecon Jazz Festival. You'd have those kind of festivals. But actually sort of, and then you'd have little small, some small things, but not many. There was two main festivals. There was the Glastonbury Festival and there was the Reading Festival. The Reading Festival then became the Reading and Leeds Festivals, and the headline acts would alternate on different days there. But those kind of festivals, then it was like the V Festival, and some other festivals, which would use this idea of you'd have all of the activities would be in a kind of central area, and then at night you'd go out to the campsite, and essentially the inner areas where all the concessions and stalls and stages and everything would be shut. They would kind of close it at maybe midnight, and then you'd have to go back to the campsite. So, there was the campsite and the kind of festival area. But Glastonbury was 24 hours. You could go through, you could just go into the site, you could walk to all the stages, 24 hours. So this sense of freedom and just, it was just incredible. So as more and more festivals started to happen, the Phoenix Festival was one in the mid-90s. There were some really good bands playing at Phoenix, but that didn't last very long. I think only maybe a couple of times at Phoenix, but maybe once we got into the 2000s, the early 2000s, more festivals just started cropping up. By the mid 2005, 2006, there was quite a lot. And like now, well, not now, actually, I'll come back to this. Let's say 2019 in Britain, there must be hundreds of festivals that happen. And a number of them are in this kind of Glastonbury mold, this type of festival where you've got that freedom, that 24-hour freedom, and they're wonderful, those kind of festivals. And actually the really kind of corporate festivals, like the V Festival, for instance, I think they kind of died off. The Reading Festival still happens, and Reading and Leeds. But those more, if you use that kind of Glastonbury model, those kind of festivals, Latitude, End of the Road, Secret Garden Party, Tea in the Park. I've never done that one. The smaller ones, Kendall Calling, and there's loads. Green Man is my main festival that I go to every year. Loads. Now, thinking about festivals though, I'm quite doubtful we'll return to that festival culture next year, and I'm almost scared that the golden era of festivals may be over. I hope not. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a huge part of my life, both attending as a punter and playing. I've played at Glastonbury 20. I've played about 20 times, maybe more, at Glastonbury. One year I played with 5 different bands in Glastonbury. I played some quite big gigs in Glastonbury too. It's been a really, really big part of my life, I suppose. I hope it's not the end of that. I kind of think there's a lot of money in it. And when there's a lot of money, people want to make that work. I think what happened in Britain, and probably around the world as well, I think almost they kind of figured out how to organize festivals, because like festivals used to be atrociously organized, chaos. But pretty much all the festivals I've been to in maybe 15 years or so, certainly 10 years, have been incredibly well organized. So it's almost as though you can like download a how to do a festival and do it well. There are some festivals that have been an absolute nightmare. There was one that was, I'll tell you, this isn't at all about Eurorack, is it? Oh my goodness. Okay. So I played, I don't know if it's going to happen again, but in a band called the Charlotte Church Late Night Pop Dungeon, which Charlotte Church, some of you will know her as being like a household name in Britain. She was a child star singing very pure, carols and, classical pieces and that sort of thing. And she became a firm favourite with the Blue Rinse Brigade, and I think she was 12 years old, and was a huge star, really. She sang at Bill Clinton's his second term at the inauguration. And she sang at George W. Bush's inauguration as well. She's quite mortified about this now, but I mean, she was young, and she sang in the Vatican she sang directly to the Pope. Her career is just crazy. But also she became, like, as she got a bit older, she became a hell of a rebel. Because, the music she was singing was so pure. It was so kind of, like super mainstream. She became a proper rebel, like a folk hero, really. And she started speaking out against, horrible fascist, horrible people like Katie Hopkins. Any Katie Hopkins fans who watch my channel right now? Yeah, let's just clear that up. But yeah, that Katie Hopkins, disgusting. Her and Charlotte would have these kind of spats on Twitter that got really out of hand, really. It got really nasty at times. In fact, the bookies, Paddy Power, put up £1 million for the victor of an actual fight between Charlotte and Katie Hopkins. Man, and I remember sitting in Charlotte's kitchen and we were like, oh God, this is getting weird. And Katie Hopkins was taunting Charlotte online, going, "You wouldn't stand a chance. I went to Sandringham, darling. I'll tear you." tear your legs off. And I'm thinking, nah, Charlotte's she's made of the good stuff. Oh, it was horrible though. I mean, like the trolling and man, the abuse that she got was disgusting. It was disgusting. I can't believe what people thought was fair game, rape threats, death threats, horrible stuff, body shaming, anything just to try and, yeah, not a nice time really. That, well, what was, this is a sort of, we've seen this, haven't we, in the era of Trump and Brexit, like a kind of, just like a really horrible thing happening. And yeah, but it got nasty. And to be fair to Charlotte, she just, she backed out of it all because it just got too nasty. As I say, once you start getting death threats and all that kind of stuff, that kind of to and fro banter just takes on a really dark streak. Anyway, I digress. I was mentioning this because I've been playing in this band with Charlotte called the Pop Dungeon, which is a radical, wild, dirty, filthy thing. It was amazing. Gosh, I think it's over. I think it's run its course. Man, we played some great gigs, including Glastonbury 2016, I think. Yeah. Wow. That was great, But the Pop Dungeon was almost like a live mashup. We would take tunes and just smash them together with other tunes. And yeah, I mean, what happened was the alternative comedian Stuart Lee, British comedian, really good, very almost an anti-comedian in a way. His humor, he doesn't sort of tell jokes, he sort of tells anti-jokes. I don't know quite, I can't quite put my finger on. He's very funny, but he's very funny in a very unconventional sense. Well, he was gifted the role of curator for an All Tomorrow's Party. Now, these were festivals that would take place in cheesy British holiday camps out of season. Someone had the kind of amazing notion that these holiday camps, they've got all the facilities there. They've got all these chalets. They've actually got all these venues. They've got big stages there, for all the kind of cheesy stuff that happens. But out of season, they kind of, no one goes. Why would, no one goes. So they would have these little festivals. Or I think maybe there was some soul, like Northern Soul or rock and roll revival things, I think, started that, booking out these kind of like holiday camps out of season. But then these All Tomorrow's Parties started, I think, in the early 2000s. And what would make them really special was every one that would happen would have a different curator. And that curator would pick all their favourite acts to come and play. And they had all sorts of people curating, typically, all, stuff that ticks off on the kind of hipster kind of list. But Stuart Lee, his music taste is quite famously quite acerbic and difficult. He likes a lot of noise bands and avant-garde and punk, but really kind of noise stuff. And he'd met Charlotte at an event in London, and because Charlotte had been, I guess, really putting herself out there, really, I think Stuart had a lot of respect for her and asked her if she'd like to take part in his All Tomorrow's Parties, which turned out to be the very last All Tomorrow's Parties, actually. That, sadly, it was the last one. I think they went bust or win loads of money. I think there's quite a lot of angry people going on there, but this was the last one. And it took place in Prestatyn, in Pontins in Prestatyn. Oh, God, I got some stories I could tell about that. But, yeah, so Charlotte had released some EPs, some really nice, beautiful EPs, 4 EPs she'd done, which were much more artistic, and I mean, it's a bit of a hackneyed thing to sort of say Björk and Kate Bush and all those kind of things, but she was certainly going down this more creative, artistic, and very. It was, well, they They weren't very commercially successful, although I think artistically very good. But she didn't feel that that was the right thing for an All Tomorrow's Parties audience. So her and her husband, boyfriend at the time, husband now, Johnny, they conceived of this idea, the Charlotte Church's late night pop dungeon. And I've worked with Charlotte. I've known her since she was 11, actually, and various points I've popped up in and have collaborated with her at different times. I knew her before she became really successful, so it was a real thrill seeing her doing really well. But anyway, they got in touch and asked if it was something I'd be interested in doing. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like fun. And it was going to be like sort of covers, but with a twist. And the choice of covers were, you wouldn't have expected Charlotte to sing it. For instance, we did Closer by Nine Inch Nails, with that chorus, I wanna bleep you like an animal. And, Charlotte, voice of an angel, or voice of a sewer rat. But anyway, in that very first ever rehearsal for it, the idea was still just kind of bubbling, hadn't fully formed. And I was wearing a King Crimson t-shirt in that rehearsal, and I think that's what it was. But we were kind of riffing on the On Vogue song "Don't Let Go," which is a banger of a tune. And I don't know necessarily why I did it, but midway through, I just went into the riff of 21st Century Schizoid Man by King Crimson, which has got nothing to do with that song at all. But oh, what amazing musicians in that band. Seriously, wonderful musicians. Davey Newington, he's now mega as under the name of Boy Azooga. Well worth checking out. He was the drummer, but he's the frontman of Boy Azooga. Wonderful drummer. He kind of clocked what I was doing, and he sort of played to me. Johnny on the guitar, he kind of saw it and played. And Charlotte, being amazing, rather than kind of stopping things, going, Gaz, what the are you doing? She just carried on singing. Oh man, it was bonkers, sort of we playing 21st Century Schizoid Man over it, and like it doesn't make any musical sense. The fact that Charlotte's such an incredible singer that she could sing with conviction over these riffs that didn't support what she was singing. Like, we were like, afterwards, we were like, oh yeah, that was smoking. So that became like one of the mainstays in the set, and we go into that huge 21st Century Schizoid Man bit, included a it was yes, actually, don't try not to get busted playing King Crimson on the stream. I'm just going to check in. I've been talking without looking in the chat there. Oh yeah. Oh, there's so much good stuff. I'm so sorry. I've missed such a lot of this. And yeah, great. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. I will read this back later. Oh man. Wagyu is saying there's some vids on the YouTube. Actually, I did record a little bit of the Glastonbury concert in 2016. It's on my channel of us doing Don't Let Go, that goes into that King Crimson thing. So you can check that out. It's pretty badly filmed, but it's there. In fact, there was some really good footage, but it's when we played at the Roundhouse in London, but that was maybe the best footage. It's gone. It's been taken down. I don't know why. Maybe copyright. Don't know. But anyway, by fusing things together that just were that didn't really necessarily go but make it work, it just became like this thrill. We would just be taking the audience by surprise, so we do like this Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit with Sugar Babes, Overload. We were messing around with Overload, and I was kind of thinking, hang on. Yeah, we could try that. And it was amazing, you know. So people would compare it a little bit to the Soul Wax thing, the Too Many DJs, you know, these kind of really strange mashups. And we would just jump from one song to another song at a really unexpected time. And if you want to see something funny, you should check out the Colston Hall concert of, there's some footage of us doing this weird mashup of Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, with Bootylicious, Destiny's Child. And this is amazing bit. And actually, it's always went down a storm, but you'd have this bit, you know, Caris, one of the backing singers, would take lead vocals for this part, and she'd go, "You, I won't do what you tell me." You know, that big, and it's just about to go into the big riff, and we just don't play. And Charlotte and the other singers go, "Child of Destiny," like going to what's that? All the women, independent women and women. Beyonce or Destiny's Child, but then we would come back in on Rage Against the Machine riffs, and man, the audience would just lose it. They would lose their minds. And yeah, there's quite a few videos online of that, but there's one particularly in Colston Hall, and you just see everyone kicking off, man, and the place just erupted. God, I'm getting nostalgic. Gigging, you know, I'm such a gigging musician. Oh, gosh, I need to get back out there. But, wow, what will happen? Hopefully we'll get back into things as they were. I hope so. I miss it so much. I mean, to be honest, I get a little bit of a performance vibe from doing these streams, you know, with you guys out there being an audience, I suppose, you know, of a sort, although I feel more like it's more like me just chatting with a bunch of friends down the pub, and I hope that's how it feels like to you guys too. Well, to a degree. But yeah, that energy interchange you get with an audience when things are really kicking. I was going to say about festivals. Yeah, I remember it. That's why. I remember why. Man, talk about going around the houses and back. So we were booked to play this festival in 2017 or 2018. I can't remember now. It was in London. No, not London. It was in Liverpool, and it was called the Hope and Glory Festival. And it was the first time it was happening. And it was in a really amazing location because it was absolutely in the centre of Liverpool, where all the civic buildings are, the beautiful big, you know, the big museums, and the idea of this was it was like meant to be like a bit like a H.G. Wells-y sort of steampunk kind of vibe, you know, all the artwork was all evocative of that kind of steampunk sort of thing, and it sounded awesome. I mean, it sounded like it was going to be like this amazing festival. The lineup was a bit kind of 90s indie bands, a little bit. I mean, some big bands playing, but maybe bands who'd seen better days. But, you know, some big bands. When you order playing, or who else? Well, there were a lot of bands, big bands. But like bands like Embrace and Razorlight and bands like that. There was loads. There was loads. Anyway, jeepers. We were on the bill. But we were on a weird time. We were meant to be, the whole thing was conceived as a late night thing. Like on that first All Tomorrow's parties, we went on at midnight. I think Glastonbury, we went on at 1 a.m. on the essentially Monday morning. We were the last thing on at the whole of Glastonbury on that year. It was fantastic. And the Green Man Festival as well. I think we went on around 1 a.m. or something. That's what it was designed for. It was designed for when people are completely trolleyed, just to blow their minds. And it was wicked. But this festival, we were a little bit early in the evening, I think. And we were like, oh, how's this going to work? Anyway, it's a long way driving up from, well, the band all come up from Cardiff up to Liverpool, and we got up there, and I arrived early with the keyboard player Robbie, and things were already kind of in a bit of disarray. People didn't know what was what, and we were trying to get the accreditation to get all our passes to kind of, and things were already in confusion. And what had happened was that the council had decided that that the capacity was too much for the site, and they made this decision to I think it was meant to be a 15,000 capacity, but to prevent 5,000 people from coming in. So people who had genuine tickets were being refused entry. So there's a lot of angry people around. And my God, it was running late. God, it was running really late, because we saw the band who was on. We're thinking, hang on, this band who's on now were meant to be on about 3 hours ago. Everything was running super late. And, it was so bad. There was like a bottleneck for people from coming from like the main stage through. And this bottleneck, I mean, I think the council were right to limit the attendance, because I think if they'd let everyone in, God, I think something really awful would have happened, possibly. But anyway, there was this tight little bottleneck, and I remember, because at one point we had to get through it. People were crying and they were crushed trying to get through this little bottleneck. It was pretty scary. So this festival was a right old mess, and I mean, the one thing that was nice, it was beautiful weather, but we were sitting on the grass behind the main stage, and we were like thinking, my God, everything's running so late. And we knew that the big headliners weren't likely to yield. And we realized that our set was going to be crushed. And sure enough, we got cancelled, because they had to, I guess people had really paid their tickets to see the main headliners, and there was no way they had a really strict curfew. So everything running late. We lost our gig. We travelled all the way up there, and we were all just feeling a bit weird about it. But the vibe was strange, because there was all these people who were out, who were really furious, and you could hear shouting, and people were throwing things. Felt like it was a bit like it could have kicked off. So we were like a little bit done in. We were like sitting there, just. I think Charlotte might have said, "Well, I guess." Shall we head back? And I was like, no way. What? We've come up here to gig. Why don't we find a venue? And I tell you what, when I said that to Charlotte, I saw the most wicked little look in her eyes, and she was like, we could. We have to see if everybody else is up for it. And everyone else was like going, yeah. So she put it out on Twitter then. She was like going, we're up here. We're in Liverpool, the Pop Dungeon. All of us here. We got our sound guy. We got the whole thing here. Are any venues willing to put us on? And we'll offer free entry to everyone who's been refused entry into this place. And then the next like hour or so was just so exciting, because this started to kick off and people were sharing this tweet. I mean, I'm sure you could probably look back through Twitter and find all of this, but people started pitching in and going, and different venues were coming and saying, hey, what about our place? And and suddenly we had choices about what to do. And so we picked this one venue, which was absolutely brilliant. It was like it was a bit like a cavern kind of vibe. It was an underground. I can't remember the name of the place now. But we did it. We went there then, and we found this venue. And we had it rammed full of people, and we played a hot, sweaty gig that was amazing. I mean, we had an absolute ball, and I mean, I was chuffed, because I am a spontaneous kind of party kind of animal, So I was like, yeah, I was so pushing to do this, so it worked a treat, and I think it was. I reckon we had a much better gig than if we'd have done the festival. And I think it was that much more meaningful, because everybody who came just had such a ball. It was wicked. Yeah. Anyway, right, where am I at? Oh my God, look at the time. So I think I'm probably going to chip off now. What was I going to do? No, I was making progress on this, wasn't I? Holy cow. Did I just talk for an hour then? Well, thanks for sticking with me. I'm just checking back through the chat. Oh man, this is great. So, well, thanks for sticking around. I mean, I feel like I've duped you into a show and going totally off topic. But the Pop Dungeon, wow. Yeah, I'm definitely nostalgic for it. We did do a small tour last year. Charlotte called, that's right. I mean, Charlotte was conscious that it was something that if we carried on doing it, it could become like a job. It would lose its magic. It would, because when Stuart Lee asked us to do it for the All Tomorrow's Parties, it was a one-off. It wasn't intended to be like in any way like a band or something regular. Actually, there was a funny story there. I think it might have been that first rehearsal. A friend of mine who runs like this small sort of stage in Glastonbury called the Rabbit Hole. The thing about the Rabbit Hole is the Rabbit Hole has one of the best backstage parties. I don't know if I should say this, but that's where all the A-list Hollywood go, and they have like special DJs in this backstage area and stuff. And that's quite a legendary thing. And I got a friend who's involved in the organising of that, and he rang me. I happened to be in this rehearsal, Pop Dungeon rehearsal. He rang me and he was going, "Hey Gaz, Underworld are playing at Glastonbury. Any chance you can try and get them to come and do like a DJ set backstage at the Rabbit Hole?" And I was thinking, there's no way. Underworld just don't do that sort of thing. Underworld kind of, they really like to kind of maintain a sort of mystique in a way. So they'll come in and I was just thinking, nah. But I said to him, well, I don't think you'll get Underworld to do that. I'm sorry. I just don't think that's the sort of thing they'll do. But what about Charlotte Church? And he was like, Charlotte Church? Because we hadn't done this All Tomorrow's Parties thing. And he was like, huh? I said, no, honestly, this is awesome. I think he kind of went away sort of a little bit unsure. Anyway, we did the All Tomorrow's Parties thing, and it was a critical smash. Honestly, check it out if you look it up. I remember NME ran the headline, "Why Charlotte Church was better than The Fall at All Tomorrow's Parties." The Fall is almost like the most archetypal band you could have at that sort of event. We won that festival. Anyone who was there will tell you that. So we had a mad load of positive press on the back of it. And sure enough, then, they got back in touch and going, you said about Charlotte. So I went to Charlotte and going, what do you think about doing Glastonbury? And she was a bit unsure because it was only meant to be this one thing. And then other offers started coming in for really nice festivals. It was just too good. It was just too good not to do it. So we ended up, then it became a thing. But I think the last gig we did, which was meant to be the last gig was at the Hammersmith Apollo in London. Legendary venue, amazing venue. And that was it. I think but then last summer, we went out on a little tour. I just think that tour, it was all right. And there was some great shows, but ultimately it felt like it had peaked, and it was time to bail on it. Who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe. But the other thing is that our drummer Davey had just become successful with Boy Azuga, and we were only like a 4-piece band, but with 6 singers. Charlotte, 5 backing singers, and bass, guitar, drums, and keys. So we were a really small, like kind of very kind of tight little unit. But with losing Davey. We got the keyboard players, Robbie, his brother Ewan came in. He was a fantastic drummer, did a great job. But I just feel that like it maybe run its course, and you know, all good things must come to an end. You know, besides the partying would probably kill me. I'm now like nearly 20 years older than the other guys in the band as well. But I was always last one up. Oh yes, to the bitter end. So yeah. Anyway, what am I doing? I've totally thrown this thing off now into a completely. I don't know if I can be bothered going doing more of this. I think I need to call it a night. Actually, I'm doing a wicked thing with Tim Exile tomorrow. Something that won't be live, but is something that you'll get to see fairly soon. I'm dead excited. That's starting early tomorrow, so I probably should try and get some sleep. I'm going to come back to this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back to this. I want to do some MIDI. I'm going to investigate the MIDI mapping. So let's make this, I'll make this a part 1 and a part 2. So that's my justification. Let me just see what happens if I press the button now. Oh, let's get back into the looper. I can't remember even what was that now. Yeah, because look now it'll. Whoa. All right, I killed that then. Yeah, this is ace. What are we talking about? I finished. That was cool. So I'd like record for a bar. Oh my god. Jimmy Jamath, aye, sorry for mentioning the AWP. It was your fault. That set me off, didn't it? It was the chat room. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was the chat room throwing me off. I was only trying to be part of the conversation in the chat room. Yeah, I'm blaming the chat room. Yeah. Synth Addict, only 6:35 p.m. Whereabouts are you? Oh, do you know what? How many? We got 76 of you there. Do you mind if I know I asked this before, but this really gives me a thrill. Can you just in the chat room just tell me where you are in the world? This bit makes me really excited. I love it when people from around the world. I mean, my goodness, at times we've had people literally in Australia and Japan and South America, the States, Canada, across Europe. It's like, that's a real thrill. Okay, I'm going to try something now. I just needed to, I've forgotten what I had it set up though. Birmingham. Winnipeg, Canada. Gosh, what's the weather like there? Glasgow, Netherlands. Scotland, Edinburgh, Lucerne, Switzerland. Philadelphia. Silicon Valley. Wow, East Canada, Wandsworth. Sweden. Oh man. Toronto, New Mexico, Bay Area, California, Seward, Alaska. Oh my god. Canada, East Coast, Northumberland, drunk again. New Mexico, Florida. Oh my god, I can't keep up. Jackson, Mississippi. Tiskland, where's that? Stockholm. Is that sweet? Is that Scandinavia? Tiskland. I don't know that. You might need to tell me where that is. Sheffield. Oh, New York, South Yorkshire. Oh, I'm sorry, my British friends and my European friends, keeping you up this late. New York. Wow. Oh man, I'm vibed out now. That's making me feel like just like floaty and high. That is just knowing that. I know Stockholm. I didn't say Stockholm. Tiskland. Tiskland's in Germany. Okay, thank you. Okay, oh, perhaps I should have known that. Oakland. Wow. Oh, man. Monterey. Oh, what? Oh, the Monterey Festival. That's one of the ones that started things off, wasn't it? 1967. That film of Monterey is amazing. Hendrix at Monterey, 1967. Holy cow, that is something else. Also, what's really funny in that Monterey festival is the birds. And I think that was the concert I think got David Crosby sacked, or it contributed to him getting sacked. Awesome stream. Oh, thank you. Sorry. That is cool. That's super cool. Anyway, let me just try this one more time. I remember what's happening now, so I can try that again. So let's just make sure everything is clear. I'm going to see if I can just do something with some semblance of musicality. Let's do it. Recording, see? Probably should take the drums out now because they're going to just all kind of overdub. Yeah, so overdub. Not my finest work. Right, okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. And we're singing now. Ha! Alrighty. Nice. Oh, kind of fitting. So, okay. What can I do now? I can then... Yeah, let's switch. Yup. Oh, and then this will record, won't it then? I've spoiled it. Stop it! Oh no, it's like... See, that's the thing when you come off this then. And then it's like, oh! Yes. Okay, I think that was just a final little thing. So this is I'm gonna do a part 2. I'm gonna return to this. And I'm gonna have something mapped. I'm gonna have a foot controller mapped, and then I'm gonna do some practice with it. So because what I've done tonight is, it's been a bit of a head scratch. I'm again ever so grateful for the contributions from the chat room for helping me kind of figure some of this out. But I kind of get it now. Well, I partially get it, but I'm really curious to map it out to a foot controller. So I'm inspired to do that. So I will do a part 2, and I'm going to do a little bit of prep because I think that would be a bit boring. What do you mean not boring? What's different from normal? Yeah. But I would just like to say thank you so much for joining me tonight for my little impromptu waffle session there. I wasn't planning on doing that at all. Again, chat room is totally to blame. Fripp played in Monterey. Wow. Well, he was at the Monterey Festival. Would that have been with Charles and Fripp then? It was pre-Crimson. But yes. Well, yeah, thank you. I'm just going to give you a little update about what's happening. Oh my God. Yes, of course. Boom. Gaz Williams show on Wednesday is going to be fun. I've got a fantastic guest. Joining me will be Florian Pils? I'm not quite sure how you say his name. Him of Bad Gear fame, who was voted Music Tech Personality of the Year this year, which I think is fab. He's done really cool. He's done really well this year. He's been putting out these Bad Gear videos, which are funny and entertaining and informative too, and done with a lot of heart. And I think him doing really well is testament to him just tuning in to just being really kind of on the zeitgeist there. I think he's he's done super well. So it was really lush to see him just literally come from nowhere to winning that thing. I mean, all the usual suspects are in the top 10, but he won it this year, and that's super cool. So he's going to be joining me on Wednesday night. So I've no idea what we're going to chat. I've only talked to him once before, and he's lush. He's a really cool dude. So we're going to have a rattle chin wag about stuff. We have got something that we're planning on doing together in the future, which I don't know if we'll talk about that in this show, but we're definitely going to collaborate on something which I'm looking forward to. So that promises to be quite good fun. Also on Wednesday, earlier on, there is on Sonic State, on the Sonic State year that the quiz has happened. And I think last year was, I think, figuring things out. So this year it should be a little bit better. But yes, there's going to be the Sonic State quiz for Bad Gear for my Gaz Williams show. So please join me for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm not going to do my Friday show because I think it's Christmas Day. But those of you who watch the channel, I've been doing a Friday. I've just started doing a Friday show, which is new, which is more about effects and pedals, guitars, and somewhat. I'm going to have a regular guest joining me for that, COVID allowing. So that's something that's going to develop over the next next year really. But hopefully I'm going to be streaming regularly this Eurorack adventure and other Eurorack adventures in Eurorack and other things and other topics, I should put. And then my Wednesday show is going to be the mishmash that it is, where a mixture of looking at new bits of gear and talking, having cool guests join me. I got a couple of new wicked interesting pieces of kit. This is the Electra One. It's a really cool MIDI controller. That's going to be something that I want to be looking at in some detail once I wrap my head around it. And also, the Polyend Tracker. Now this is a new arrival, and I am really, really thrilled with this. This is a super cool device. This is really exciting me. I think this might be my my new favorite thing. So once I've figured that out a little bit more, I'm going to make some content about that. That'll probably be the sort of thing I will do on a Wednesday when I haven't got a guest. Now I always say this about all these guests. Honestly, I've got amazing guests. It's just a matter of, diaries coming into synchronicity. But yeah, those guests, I'm going to they've said they're going to come on the show. I'm going to hold them to it and get them on the show. So certainly keep tuning into the show. Please subscribe and like this video and ring the bell, all that kind of jazz. Sorry. I hate doing all that bit, but yeah, I keep getting told I forget to say that and need it, especially the likes and stuff. That is actually kind of useful. I think, even though I'm not sure if I've said a few too many things off the record today, so I just don't know if I've been a little bit too overly familiar. Anyway, I think I'm going on way too long. Thanks again ever so much for joining me, and I really appreciate me just kind of sticking around whilst I've kind of gone way off topic. It's been a lot of fun for me. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And if I don't see it on Wednesday, please join if you can. But if you don't, have a fantastic Christmas or happy holidays, whatever it is that floats your boat. And be kind to everyone, even if they don't deserve it. Yeah, especially at Christmas time. No, not just at Christmas time, at all times. We are stood at the precipice in Britain at the moment. We've got some really scary things. Obviously, COVID and the mutation is really scary, but also the borders being closed and deliveries all being held up and freight. Oh my goodness, it's a weird old time, that's for sure. Super important that us as an international community stay in touch though and spread the love. Peace and love. Yeah, we're gonna win. Goodness and brilliance will return, and the creative souls that we are, and who celebrate and love being in this incredible international community. Wow, we're the good guys, and yeah, I think it's a thrill to be part of an international community, as evidenced tonight by so many of you from all over the world. I really, really find that super thrilling. So yeah, so big love. I think I am an incredibly lucky person to be able to do this. So thank you once again for joining me, and hopefully see you Wednesday. But if not, see you soon. Have a fantastic time, and bye for now.